What up, my guys? It's the boy Rich. We're back with another 6v6 Pokemon battle for the channel against the homie Caleb. Yup, 2 uploads in one day. Like, I uploaded right before I went to sleep, which I recorded at some unreasonable time of the night. But I just woke up and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get a whole nother video out just because I want to. Anyway, looking at our teams, you guys can see it's an OU battle. I'm using the same exact team that I used in my last upload, so I'm not like gonna hang too much on this team preview. I mean, I got a 0 aura on my team, and that was like pretty much the gist of it. Looking at my opponent's team, you guys can probably already tell what he's about. He has the Oravel, he has the Tapu Koko Hawlucha combo, which to me is like the most deadly OU combo, like all together. Like, I hate those two Pokemon together so much, but we're gonna go ahead and hop into it. So, looking at my opponent's team, I wasn't sure what he wanted to start out with, or actually I had a good idea. I was like, it's either gonna be the Skarmory or it's gonna be the Tapu Koko, because both those guys are pretty good leads. I mean, they can Volt Switch out, or this thing can just come out here and start setting up like hella hazards and stuff. And looking at my opponent's name for his Skarmory, which is Hazard King, tells me that he's probably about to, you know, start getting rocks up and just being really annoying. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use this opportunity just to get, you know, my reflect up, because as long as I have a reflect, I will feel safe against that Hawlucha. Like, that's the only Pokemon that I was really thinking of this entire battle. I was like, I have to stop the Hawlucha. I have to stop the Hawlucha. But as you guys can see, my opponent actually is using this opportunity to get some layers of spikes up, as I just used the opportunity to get both of my screens up. So I got a little Oravel of my own. I do have the Light Clay on my Tapu Bulu, so my screens will be up for a while. And I didn't really put it together, but I was like, this Pokemon might have defog, but at the same time I was like, he wouldn't have defog because he's a Skarmory and his name is Hazard King, and that would kind of throw him off. But I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and swap out into my Magearna as he lays up his third layer of spikes. I actually thought this Magearna that I had Thunderbolt on it, but it did not. But I was just going to go ahead and start hitting this thing up with some Ice Beams. After he gets the 3 layers of spikes up and rocks, I was like, alright, I absolutely have to get my Latios in here ASAP so I can defog all this stuff away like pronto, because I am about to get really messed up. But I just went for the Ice Beam right here. It's not doing too much, honestly. I was hoping for a freeze. I was like, if I get a freeze, like, I would absolutely be so grateful to the Poke Gods, but that's not gonna happen, and I feel kind of dirty for even hoping for a freeze. But my opponent actually just decides to go ahead and roar me out, which, like, this kind of sucks, because now I can't even just swap into my Latios, because he's most likely just gonna keep roaring. But I was like, this isn't the worst Pokemon to swap me into, because I do at least have something to hit this Hazard King, this Skarmory. So my Yakuza's out here, and I got Ice Beam on me, so I'm just not even going to hesitate. I'm just going to go ahead and click that, hoping that I'd be able to go ahead and kill this thing, because I don't want to stay in here and keep getting roared out. That would be just too frustrating. But it knocks this Skarmory down to what looks like, I don't know, like 5 HP or something, 1 HP, something really low, as my opponent did not go for the roar. He just went for the Toxic. Maybe he thought I was going to go into a different Pokemon. I'm not sure why he didn't just keep the roars up, but I mean, I am happy that he just went for the Toxic. My Yakuza doesn't care too much about being toxic. I mean, he's here for a good time, not a long one. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Pump. I went for the Hydro Pump just because I did not want to go for the Ice Beam again and he swapped out into like Magearna or something. I was like, I know Hydro Pump won't do too much to him, but it would do more than an Ice Beam. And I thought maybe he'd swap out into the Magearna just because he wanted to, you know, maybe stall out a little more toxic turns. Like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of like the play to make. But my opponent goes into this Drag Queen, this Alolan Volp, Ninetales, and I got the Gunk Shot on me. If you guys saw in the last video, like, this guy has Gunk Shot and I just miss, and I was like, no, I needed that Gunk Shot right there, because now he's gonna get this Oravel up. I feel like the Gunk Shot might have killed, but it's just not going down like that. Gunk Shot is just like a 50-50 thing. I think it has like 70 accuracy or 80 accuracy, but I don't know, it never feels like that. I feel like I miss it more than I actually hit, but I don't want to take the chance of missing another one or having him swap out into his Mawile or Magearna on me, so I just decided to go ahead and prop my Z move. I also didn't want to swap out into anything just because he still has like all these crazy layers of spikes and stealth rocks up, so Yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable swapping out into anything. I definitely just have to get my Latios in here and defog all this stuff away so I can get to, swapping and stuff. My opponent is going to be able to live that Tectonic Rage and just fire back off with a Hex, killing my Greninja, and the light screen on my side wears off as well. So this isn't too good. Now I wasn't sure if I'd be able to take a Moonblast or anything, but I mean, I have to get rid of all these hazards before I can really proceed with anything else in this battle. So my Latios is out here. I am Choice Scarfed. Right, I am running Choice Scarf defog, so I did just lock myself into defog. So it's a little bit silly. Like, I don't know. I know that's not like the most ideal thing to run on a Choice Scarfer, but anyway, my opponent just went for the Dazzling Gleam right here. I don't know why he's not running Moonblast, but my Latios actually appreciates that he's not running it, because now I get to preserve my life a little bit. So I am going to save my Choice Scarf Latios in case he, becomes useful later in the battle. And I'm just going to go ahead and send out my Magearna. Since my Magearna didn't really get too much playtime in the last battle, I did want to go ahead and try to, make some more moves with him this one. So this is not the typical Assault Vest Magearna. This is a weakness policy Magearna that I run. I always run it because I typically would get the screens up and stuff. I run the little shift gear so I can get really fast and then start botting and everything with like Iron Head. So that's pretty much what this Magearna does, and I'm just going to go ahead and shift gear right up here. My opponent has the Tapu Koko out, and he has this Electric Terrain, but I do feel okay. If he wants to bring in that Hawlucha, I will hit him with a really strong Flare Cannon, and I was hoping my opponent would most likely be afraid of that, but I also didn't want to play any of those games at the same time in this battle, so I did just decide to go ahead and swap out into my Tapu Bulu, because I was like, that's a dangerous game that probably doesn't need to be played right now. He's just going to go ahead and Wild Charge me. I'm glad to see that this is actually a physical attacking Tapu Bulu, because physical attacking Tapu Koko, because if he was a special attacker, I feel like he'd give me a little bit more problems. But he is just going to go ahead and swap out into his Drag Queen right here, as I'm just going to go ahead and use this opportunity to get both my Reflect and my Light Screen back up. My Reflect first, just because, like I said, the only Pokemon I was really just focused on my opponent's team was that Hawlucha. The entire battle, I was like, if he's gonna at least have that thing out, I'm at least gonna have a Reflect out so that I will be able to get an attack off if I survive like a high jump kick or something, because nothing really survives that. But my opponent is gonna go ahead and get his Aura Veil back up. I'm just gonna go ahead and stay in here with my Tapu Bulu, get my Reflect up, get my Light Screen up. I'm just gonna go ahead and swap out now. Back out into my Magearna. My opponent's going to go ahead and go back out into his Tapu Koko. We got Ice out here just chipping away at both of us. And I felt like, you know what, it's time to go ahead and try to make some different moves. My opponent's just going to go ahead and swap out into the Mawile. Now that he saw that I ran Shift Gear, he's probably okay with me not like hitting him with like any special attacks or anything like that. But I wasn't really too worried about this Mawile. I know this thing has a lot of attack and stuff. I was happy to see that he wasn't Intimidate. I felt like this guy must be the only person in the world not running an Intimidate Mawile, but this thing can still be a problem. I know he was going to go ahead and Mega Evolve right here into the Mega Mawile and just be a complete a-hole to me. Probably he was going to Sword Dance and then try to Sucker Punch the rest of my team, but I'm not worried too much about it. I was just going to go ahead and go for the Iron Head just to, try to get some flinches and whatnot, as my opponent is getting really scary right now, because he did get that Sword Dance up. I didn't get the flinch. Luckily, that Ice is chipping away at him too, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for another Iron Head. I figured my opponent would probably try to go for like the Fire Fang, and I actually got the flinch right there, which probably saved my life, not going to lie. But honestly, I feel like I deserve that, because I missed the Gunk Shot earlier, so I felt like it kind of balanced out in a way, and I figured my opponent would be going for the Sucker Punch right here, because if not, I could just easily hit him with the Iron Head. So I just used this opportunity to go ahead and go for another Shift Gear. So my guy is just extremely fast out here now, and I'm just trying to, get on my Jirachi-ish and just start Iron Heading everything, getting flinches, thousands of flinches. But yeah, so luckily I did get the flinch that mattered the most, and I was able to go ahead and kill that Mawile, showing him who's the superior Steel and Fairy type. And now my opponent's just going to go ahead and bring out his own Magearna, but since I'm pretty sure this is like a special attacking one, I'm not too worried. I do still have, I believe, some special defense EVs, but not much. I felt like I could at least take one attack is pretty much what I'm saying. And he hits me with the flash cannon, and I literally survive on 1 HP. Now my opponent makes a pretty good play right here. He just swaps out into his Drag Queen. I guess he realized he didn't really need this thing anymore, or at least that if he went out into this Pokemon, at least I'd kill this Pokemon, but he, you know, the ice would be able to kill me at the end of the turn anyway. So I'm gonna hit him with an Iron Head. And I am just going to go ahead and get a crit right there. But honestly, this thing was extra dead with the Oravella, with the... I mean, this dude could have had anything. No crit. Like, there was no way that he was going to be able to survive that. Not after 2 shift gears. But like I said, the ice is just going to go ahead and come down, kill my Magearna. We are back to a blank field, and I figured my opponent would go ahead and go out into the Tapu Koko just to get his little electric terrain up. So I actually went out into the Tapu Bulu. I was like, if he doesn't go out into Tapu Koko, then I am just going to go ahead and get my reflect and light screen up. And since I'm slower than him, my grassy terrain is just going to absolutely cover his electric terrain. So I felt like I was playing this just really, really good, or I was getting really, really lucky. But my opponent is just going to go ahead and swap out into this Magearna. I don't really have anything that can hit this thing. My only attacking moves are the Superpower and Horn Leech, which Horn Leech is a resisted hit on Magearna, and Superpower just absolutely won't do anything to this thing. I'm not sure if he still has the Aura Veil up at the time, but I know I just won't really be hurting this thing too much. But his Magearna's in here, my Tapu Bulu's in here. I'm just going to use this opportunity to get a light screen up, because I just want to keep my screens up. Like, it's really annoying and frustrating playing against screens, but I mean, I just feel so safe behind him, and it's like, why not? It's just honestly the best play for me to go for. He's going for the Flash Cannon, which would have definitely bodied me had I not had my screens up, and I'm just gonna go ahead, get some HP. This Magearna is over here gonna get some HP, and I'm just gonna go ahead and try to swap out, because if he wants to, I do have a Diggersby, like I said, with the Assault Vest in the back. If you guys watched the last video, he was you know, doing some work to my opponent's team, but I felt like I could survive a Flash Cannon from this Magearna. Then, like, nothing on my opponent's team could take too many attacks from this thing. This Diggersby has the huge power, so if you guys don't know what that ability does, it does double the Pokemon's attack power, making it just extremely strong. But I went for the Fire Punch right here. I don't know if my opponent thought I'd just go for the Earthquake, or if he'd even be able to survive an Earthquake just because this grassy terrain is up. But the best play definitely was to go for Fire Punch. Anything he chose out would have got hurt at least like a decent amount. So anyway, my opponent's gonna go out into this Tapu Koko right here against my Diggersby, and I don't know if he wants to. I don't know. I was like, I'm not clicking Earthquake. He has a Halucha. It'd be just too perfect for him to swap out into his Halucha while I go for an Earthquake, and then him, like I said, just high jump the rest of my team. And I just can't have that happen. So I'm just going back out into Tapu Bulu, because anytime this terrain turns electric, like, I'm just going to change it green again. Like, I have to keep this grassy terrain up. My opponent's just going to go ahead and go for the Brave Bird right here. Absolutely killing my Tapu Bulu. So now my guy's gone. My grassy terrain is up. But this is a really good position for me, because if he wants to swap out, that means that his Halucha will be taking this psychic attack. I am just going to go ahead and click the Psyshock right here, because it's honestly, just, like I said, it's just the best play. It's the only thing I can really do to this Tapu Koko with this Latios right here, because my only other attacking move is the Draco Meteor. But like I said, if he wanted to swap out into his Halucha, that would have been just, you know, fine and dandy for me. He would not have been able to take too many Psyshocks from me, but he just went ahead and went for the Brave Bird, and after that recoil and life orb damage, his Tapu Koko is just going to go ahead and go down at the same time as my Latios. And now this is just absolutely perfect for me, and I'm just going to go ahead and choose out my main attraction of the team, my Zero Aura. And without the electric terrain under this Halucha, he's just looking like a plate of nachos. So I'm just going to go ahead and Plasma Fist this thing, and he is not going to be able to live that, because this Pokemon is just way too strong. He's way too fast. There was just nothing he could do. If he had the electric terrain up, I'm very confident that I would not have been able to take a high jump kick. But luckily, I felt like I really played this battle really good. It was a terrain battle, so that, I mean, that's what it comes down to. I really don't like when the battles come down to, you know, terrains being up and whatnot, but I mean, that's just kind of what it was. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the battle, Go ahead and drop that like for me if you guys look forward to future battles from me. I might even upload later, like 3 battles in one day. Wow. But if you guys enjoy that and are looking forward to that, go ahead and sub to your boy, because I got more coming. Thank you guys for staying this long and listening to me talk throughout this battle, even though I got a sick voice and I'm hella monotone. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you later. Peace.